Genesis is often called a book of beginnings, and I think that's a pretty good nickname for the book of Genesis, but it is also a book of endings, and there are several significant endings in it. We'll notice a couple of them in this little video. For example, Jacob, he lived a life of 147 years. And his ending is recorded in the book of Genesis, very, very near the end, of course. And I just think sometimes about the 147 years, and we won't review all of the life of Jacob, but man, did it have its ups and its downs. And there were so many smaller beginnings and endings in his life also, because all of us have a complex life of beginnings and endings. I just think that's the way life works. That's kind of funny that way, isn't it? Joseph made it to 110 years, and we have the end of his life, of course, at the end of the book of Genesis. And again, you have all the wonderful stories we like to tell, from his coat of many colors to his hateful brothers and Potiphar's wife and his rise to power in Egypt. And all of those represent beginning and endings. And again, this is the way life works. One chapter ends, a new chapter begins, or you turn the page, or you change the channel. I don't know how you want to say it, but you get the basic idea. And then in this whole story with Jacob and Joseph and his brothers, there was a time for the past to come to an end. And of course, you know how Joseph's brothers had betrayed Joseph and sold him off into slavery. And then Joseph rose to power, and they were scared to death. And they were really frightened after Jacob died, because they were afraid that now that their father was dead, Joseph would get his revenge. And Joseph had the power to do that had he been of the mind of it. And so there was a time where they needed to put the past to rest and let the past come to an end. And that one gets a little more confusing for folks. You never ever forget the past as long as you have your mental faculties. You never forget the past. But there's a difference between remembering it and still investing energy in it. There's a time to let the past go. Sure, you can't change the past with things that happen are the things that happen. But you learn to let it go and stop hoping that it will be different someday in the future. The past is not going to be different. So quit hoping it'll be different, right? And you just say, okay, this is it. I'm not investing any more of my disappointment in the past. I'm not going to invest any more anger into the past. I'm not going to invest any more of my life energy into the past. That was, for some of us, that was way more than just yesterday. That was a long time ago. And there are people who will keep investing energy in a past that was 20, 40, 50, 60 years ago. There's a time for things to end, to let them go. Let God take care of it. And so in Genesis, what we have is we have a lot of endings, and we have a lot of little bitty endings and beginnings. And all this was 4,000 years ago, roughly. I know the experts argue a little bit the dates, but we'll say 4,000. We'll keep it simple. And so we had these major endings 4,000 years ago, and guess what happened? Nothing. Life kept going. Life always keeps going. And life keeps going through its cycles year after year after year. And 4,000 years later, here we are. Still going through the same cycles, and we all have our individual beginnings and endings, and some of them are a little bitty and some of them are very major, life-changing, and it's going to keep going on. And if mankind does not destroy himself, then it's going to keep going on until the end of time. Nobody knows when that'll be, but whenever the end of time comes, then the cycle will stop. But if we live as humanity lives another 5,000 years, 10,000 years, who knows what, but however long we continue to survive, guess what? All of these cycles, just like we see back here 4,000 years ago, are going to be happening 4,000 years in the future, because that's the way life works. And these are fundamental qualities of life that not even science can change. Kind of neat, isn't it? So there's just something to think about, beginnings and endings. Put your comments below if you'd like, and as always, have a great day.